Jeffro from Two Hacks Garage. Well, it's a nice, beautiful day out. Got the dragster out here in the driveway, cleaning up on it. Got the T-Bird in there. Going to clean up on that pretty soon. It's not a video about cleaning cars or anything like that. It's actually about safety. I'm going to be doing a couple videos to go into when driving a vehicle like this, what actually keeps that driver safe. I'm not going to get into like the different stuff in the engine and the transmission and all that. I'm going to go into products that all these vehicles have that actually keep the driver safe from fire, from accidents, and all that type of stuff. Like I said, it's going to be two-part. One of them is going to be on onboard safety equipment to ensure that the driver is safe in the event of a fire. And the other video is going to be on what I actually have to wear to be safe and legal in one of these cars. I did get all my safety equipment in, checked it out, tried it on. It's pretty awesome. And I got everything installed on this, not only to meet drag strip requirements, but also to make sure that I'm in safe just in case the event of something was to happen. We all don't want that, but you just never know. And in today's world, better be safe than sorry. So I tell you what, guys, what this video is actually going to be about is products from Stroud. They're a safety equipment company that makes all kinds of stuff for not only dragsters, but door cars to motorcycles, to sprint cars, to dirt cars, roundy around, you name it. For this vehicle specifically here, I reached out to them and I got a fire safety suppression system, and I also got a parachute net that goes back on the wheelie bar. I'll explain why all this is important. Give me a few seconds. I'll be right back. All right, so the fire suppression system is designed not only to protect the driver, but also to help suppress the fire on the engine. That's just in case you get a fuel line to burst, you hit the wall, something goes crazy, and you get a fire. And the thing is about it is when you're driving down the road, or the drag strip, I should say, and something was to catch on fire, well, all that wind is pretty much acting like a blowtorch, and it's going to blow fire, not only more on the engine, but it's going to want to go back to the driver. Front engine dragsters, there is an engine plate. There's no holes in that. In a previous video, we did talk about the reason you don't put that in there is so no fire does get into the driver's compartment. But if that was the case, you know what? You need protection not only here to suppress it, but also in the driver's bay. We'll explain that here in a second. Let's talk about the product itself. This is a Stroud 9302 system. It's actually pretty cool the way it works. It comes with a nice plate. We actually built these bars into the chassis to mount it. It is a 5-pound bottle. And it lasts about 10 seconds once you pull the pin, which I'll show here in a second. This is considered a Novec 1230 system. It's waterless, and it actually is able to put out fires class A, B, or C. The neat part about it is it's clean. There's no ozone depletion and no residue in the case you do pull it. It does not have any conductive electricity parameters with it, so this will not conduct electricity through it once you spray it. So if there's an electrical fire, it'll also help put that out. It is non-corrosive and there is no thermal shock. So you're probably wondering how this works. What we're going to do is we're going to show you how this works. So you got your 5-pound bottle here and it's mounted, and you have a bulkhead. And if you see that pin in there, well, that right there, it actually goes to the driver's compartment, which you're going to show you. And you see on that bulkhead that it's got 2 nozzles. Well, if you follow this nozzle along the chassis, well, that one goes up to right there. And that's got different ports on it. And that's designed, once that handle in the driver's compartment is pulled, it's going to spray the Novec 1230 fire agent on the engine and help suppress that fire. If you look here, there's also a second line that goes out of the bulkhead, and that actually goes along the chassis and routes back in there. Let me go show you that. All right, well, here's the driver's compartment. As you can see, the engine is right there. So if there was a fire, all that fire coming back from the engine is going to be a blowtorch like in your face. So right now, this is kind of a driver's view, and you don't want that fire hitting you. That's hot, 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 and you want to get it out as quickly as possible. That's what that front nozzle is for. Well, there's also a second nozzle in here. But before we get to that, if you look right there, there is a little handle that says fire. What happens is, well, there's a pin in there, and you pull that before you race. But in the case of a fire, you reach down and you pull that handle, and it's going to pull that pin out that I just showed you on the bulkhead. That's going to release the Novec 1230 fire agent to both nozzles. You're probably wondering, well, where's the other nozzle? Well, it's quite simple. Let me show you. If you look right there, sorry about that, there's a nozzle in there. And what that is, that's going to blow back the Novec 1230 fire agent into the engine compartment towards the driver. So not only is it, if there is the fire, to get actually in the engine compartment, or sorry, in the driver's compartment, it's going to help put that out along with the driver that sits right there. It's actually located in a good spot. We did take some time to kind of, well, I actually sat in there and took the time to develop an area where it's going to not only protect what's going on with the driver, but it's going to help put the fire out in the event that it gets behind that engine plate back there. So yeah, those are the two nozzles. That's how it works. You never want to pull that handle, but just in case, you got that nozzle back up in there in the compartment and the one ahead of the engine. Now it's time to explain the Wheelie Bar safety net. All right, well, if you see here, I have the wheelie bar mocked up. I don't have the wheel on there right now. I'm still doing some adjustments and some other little things with it. But if you notice here, it's a triangulated wheelie bar, and I do have a parachute. That parachute's from Simpson. I'm going to explain that in another video. However, if you were to look at how this is mounted, it's actually got a plate that goes to the actual dragster chassis. This doesn't take the brunt force in the event of the parachute being released. That's actually down here. There's a tether, if you follow that, that goes to the actual parachute. So what happens is you pull the parachute lever, the parachute comes out, that tether's going to go, and it plumes back. Well, the problem is with wheelie bars, if you were to look here, well, those are steel. That's chromoly triangulated steel. Better look at it back here. So if you look, you got 2 points here going down and one on the bottom. Better view of that tether going from here. The problem you don't want when you pull the parachute is for it to drop and go in between here and get tangled up and not be able to plume. So Stroud, they actually make a pretty cool product. It's a wheelie bar safety net. And what happens is you have to basically go on their website, you can even call, give them your dimensions of the triangulated point, and what they'll do is they'll make you a heavy-duty wheelie bar net. So what happens is when the parachute comes out, it's still in a pack, still attached to there, it's going to hit this netting and bounce off and go back and plume. All that does, guys, is help keep the parachute from not getting tangled up and getting into your wheelie bar. And you know what, guys? That won't help you slow down. That'll be bad. That could really cause a crash and be dangerous. It's a really cool product from Stroud, actually extremely affordable. Their turnaround time on getting one made is very quick. You know what, guys? Two really good products from Stroud. Really like them, especially this one. I didn't even know it existed. I'm kind of new to this world. But yeah, pretty neat. Basically comes out, bounces off there, and it goes back. So yeah, those are the two products that I got from Stroud for safety equipment. One of them, like I said, fire suppression system. I'm going to put a link actually in the description to that product along with Stroud's website to show you guys the different netting they make, and also for the Wheelie Bar Net. All right, guys, so those are two of the products that help keep me as the driver safe in the event if something was to happen. You know what, I don't foresee anything happening, but just in case, I do know if there was a fire to happen, I'm better protected knowing that Stroud system is not only up in front of the engine, but it's also down here. Like I said, that's designed in case something happens. Well, you know what, driving this thing real fast, that fire is going to be a blowtorch. I don't want that. Nobody wants that. The nozzle up there is to help mitigate that. And just in case in the event was something to happen, there's a fire down here, well, guess what? That nozzle down there, it's going to spray this way. Not only help contain the fire that's down there, but also protect me. I really like the fact that they do offer products like the Wheelie Bar Net, custom ordered, very affordable. And you know what? Like I said, I'm new to this world of these dragsters. I didn't know something like that existed. And when I saw them, I'm like, man, that's genius. That is absolute genius. That helps just make sure that, you know what, that parachute doesn't get tangled in that wheelie bar when you're whizzing down the drag strip. Allows it to just kind of bounce off that net, shoot behind me, plume out, and slow me down. With that, guys, I'm going to be making another video, and it's going to be on safety equipment that I wear. Really cool products, really awesome video content. You don't want to miss that. That's going to be the part 2 of a nostalgia front engine dragster safety. What do you need and why? With that, guys, we'll see you in the next one. Hope you learned something on this. And you know what? Safety first. Have a good one.